Now, we are here with Crystal Selene, formerly known as the C in TLC. Man, I am ready. How are you doing, Crystal?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
We're blessed. So let's get into it now, Flash.
Okay, let's get right into it. First question. How did you guys get an audition with Pebbles?
Well, at the time, Tion was a shampoo girl nail tech at a salon called Escape. And one of her coworkers was a hairstylist, Marie. She was Pebbles' hairstylist. So Tion mentioned us to her. We went up to Escape Hair Salon and met with Marie, gave her a picture, our bio, and I think a copy of our song. And she mentioned us to Pebbles, and Pebbles contacted us and wanted us to meet her at Seriously Sound Studios. And that's how we met up, and we auditioned there for her. And we auditioned using our song, I Got It Going On, which was produced at the time by Jermaine Dupri.
Okay. So let it be known. It wasn't a climax song, Meeting in the Ladies' Room. It was their song, I Got It Going On, produced by Jermaine Dupri. So Deaf.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how was it working with Pebbles?
I mean, Pebbles is it's so funny that, I get asked this question because so many people want to know was she as the way that she was portrayed in the movie. And the thing is, I did not get that far with her, but I did have some first-hand conversations with her when she wanted to change the name of the group, and when she would take us out to dinner, I would ask her if the receipts, if that stuff was going to, if our meal was going to be taken out of our advance. So I was always kind of vocal. But, I mean, to me, she didn't seem that bad of a person as people make her out to be. But then again, as I say, I don't know. I didn't get that far to know that side. But, I mean, she was 25 at the time.
Wow. She was young, yeah. Amazing.
Okay. What are your feelings towards L.A. Reid?
My feelings towards him? I don't have any negative things because I only met him a couple of times. We performed in front of him at their home once, and I saw him the second time at Lisa's wake. So those are the only two times I had ever seen L.A.
Oh, wow. Interesting. All right. Well, did you get a chance to view the contract?
I absolutely did, despite what Pebbles said that I recently found out about. But, yeah, I saw the contract. I was there, and I'm sure if any one of her staff members wished to come forward, Jocelyn, Didi, anybody want to, DeAndrea, anybody want to open up and say something, then I'm sure they would say the same thing. But other than that, yeah, I was there. I was at Joel Katz's office. It was the three of us sitting there at the end of the table, and it was Tion, Lisa, and myself. And, again, I saw the contract, and there were some things about it that I was not understanding. And because I did at the time have a history in the industry, and I was privy to a lot of things regarding the business side of it, I knew to ask. And at that time, Pebbles had already monetarily gotten us away from our original manager, so we didn't have anybody there for us to look after us on our behalf. So we were just basically just three girls sitting there with a nice contract in front of us trying to figure out what to do. But, I spoke up. I asked Pebbles if I can take mine home. She said absolutely not, and I refused to sign it.
Wow. And I'm sorry, I have this question that it just popped up now that you talk about the situation. So when Ian Burke was involved around this time, or he was canceled out of the whole situation?
At the time that we got to the contract portion, he was canceled out, and he was actually paid off. So I'll say that much. He was paid off. He was given a monetary little settlement, not very much, and that was concocted through Pebbles and Tion's mom.
Wow.
Okay. So after your departure from the group, how did you feel when you seen TLC all over the TV and radio, just hearing them?
I was very hurt, angry, disappointed, pissed off, ready to fight, name it. I was feeling all those emotions at one time, because I just felt like I was betrayed, and I was left out. When you create something, you put something together, and somebody else takes it away from you, and it's flashed in front of your face and kind of thrown up everywhere you go, the TV, the radio, anywhere. You feel some kind of way about it, So I was very hurt, very pissed off.
Wow. Okay, so, with that being said, with TLC, moving forward with, with a new member in the group and stuff like that, how can you describe, how did you move forward from that whole situation? How did you move on with your life and just, focus on Crystal?
Well, immediately after that, I started auditioning again, and the first audition that I went to, I did not know who the audition was for. I just went because I wanted to get involved. So I was there with some friends, and we went to rehearse Too Much Studios, and we were standing in line with a whole bunch of other people who were waiting to audition. And while we're standing there, there's this big commotion coming down the hall with a lot of people, a lot of hoopla. Next thing I know, I see Tion and Lisa. And I'm just like, wow. And so they kind of pulled me out the line when they saw me and brought me in the room, and they wanted to know if I wanted to audition there, and I said no. As a result of that, I ended up leaving the audition. I just sat in my car and cried. But after that, I kept trying and kept trying and kept trying, but nothing never stuck. Nothing never gelled. And then I just said, well, maybe I should do something solo. So I started doing my own thing, and I hooked up with a producer by the name of Anthony Shaughnessy. Everybody knows him as Shocky. And we did some tracks. And one of the tracks that I completed was placed on Michael Cooper's album, and the name of the song is 1-900 Next to Me. So if you Google that song, you'll hear my voice in the background. That's the only song that I've ever done after that. But other than that, I had kind of come back to reality really quickly. I had to find a job and tried to put myself through school, and none of that worked out. So it was a real struggle for me.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And so your life after TLC, you moved on from music, and you basically, lived a normal life. Can you describe, Crystal's everyday life?
Well, I had a lot of setbacks, a lot of financial problems. I was just 20 at the time, and I was trying to raise a child, and I had actually dropped out of school in 12th grade. So I did go back at some point and get my diploma, but education for me was just kind of second, third, fourth, fifth. I just didn't put it up as a priority. So I just tried to work. I just tried to do anything I could do to make money, and that I ended up waitressing in nightclubs, working in retail stores, and found myself homeless, and I had to make a quick decision with $17 to my name. So I went to a nightclub. I went to Magic City and entered amateur night, and got on stage and came off with over $700 to my name. So that was my new job. I was now a stripper.
Oh, wow.
So that was the life that I lived for a little while,
Yeah.
Well, someone's out there listening, and, you're telling their story because, there are a lot of people in that situation, a lot of people that want to pursue music, and it's not easy, and we are very grateful for the fact that you are, sharing that with us. It takes a lot. It really does, and we commend you for that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We know that you're a huge advocate for mental health. Please explain why you're so passionate about it.
Well, I'm really passionate about it because I suffer from severe depression and severe anxiety, panic disorders, and post-traumatic stress disorder. So after the death of my mother in 2009, I entered rehab. I had a nervous breakdown, and during the time that I was there, I went through therapy and group counseling and all of that, and that's how the whole book came about. I did a project in there called My Timeline, and My Timeline, I kind of just went through. They want you to talk about all the things that you've been through and what led you there. So that's what I did, and as a result of telling my story to everyone there, they encouraged me to go ahead and write a book, which I had already been working on since '99. So I just started putting pieces together and just, wanted to finish the project. So that's how the book came about. But I'm passionate about mental health because I really think that in the African-American community, we really need to take that stigma off of it and stop labeling people as being crazy or just putting them in the closet, not dealing with them anymore. We've got to deal with these issues because if you don't, you're going to have more people doing things like I went through, masking their pain, trying to hide their pain with drugs and alcohol and unhealthy lifestyles and different risky behaviors just to kind of get over the pain and the hurt that they've suppressed for so many years. So that's my reason for really standing up for mental health. That's the reason why I wanted to write this book, to kind of put my problems out there just so that people can see transparency through me and just say, well, if she went through this, she did that, and I know someone, or I have been through things like that, maybe I can get some help. And it's okay. It's okay to go see a psychiatrist. It's okay to talk to someone, but the thing is, you got to talk to somebody. Stop taking drugs, stop drinking, stop doing those things. Go get help. Because I promise you, when you start to talk about your problems and your things and all those demons and skeletons in your closet, when you get it out, you feel amazing. And that's how I feel right now. I feel amazing. So I can talk about TLC with no problem. I can talk about anything because I'm not afraid. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not hurt. I feel great. So.
And it always takes that one person to take that, that step and, be, the leader, the stepping stone for other people, because there's a lot of people dealing with those issues as well. And I find,
absolutely.
And with writing a book or a song for that matter, anything of that sort, it's very therapeutic, and it's like a whole lot of, a lot of weight is lifted off your chest, and you just feel really liberated right now. And
absolutely.
That's the important thing. So speaking of your book, The Awakening of a Shattered Dreams, which is coming out soon, can you explain to the people the concept behind that and the title?
Well, it kind of came to me, late at night. I wrote a little poem. I think you guys read it on the last segment. But The Awakening of a Shattered Dream basically is me just waking up to realize that, just reality, that sometimes what your plan is, sometimes it's not for you. And God stepped in my life, and I have a bigger purpose now. So whether or not I made TLC, whether or not I did anything else in the industry, it doesn't really matter. What God has for me is for me, and I had to wake up and realize that. And that's pretty much it, So.
Is there a release? I know we know it's a release date, but if no one else knows, when is the release date expected to release?
It's real soon. I'm probably pushing around spring of 2014, but I'm really trying to push it sooner. So the thing is, I wanted to have a message, and I just can't put anything out there. And after the whole TLC biopic thing came out, I was kind of caught off guard because I didn't expect anyone to even want to know who I was or even so much care. So now, even though I had already been working on the book and working on editing and proofreading and all that, I'm still doing it, but now I'm more concerned about trying to get it out there now. So it'll be out real soon, I promise.
Yeah. Just take your time. I'm sure it's going to be, a masterpiece, and I'm really looking forward to reading that. I love to just dig into, those type of books. But another question I have for you is, when you first got together with the group, and, Lisa was the first person you met before Tion, right?
Right.
Okay, so describe your first impression of Lisa. How can you describe her character?
She was a go-getter. I mean, she was a sweet person. When I first saw her, her style of dress didn't seem to fit her talent. So it was a little kind of, a little conflict there. But the thing is, Lisa has such a great spirit, such a great personality, and I truly, truly miss her. I really do. I just wish that I had more time, to kind of have gotten to know her and Tion as well, but I really do miss her.
Yeah. Were you able to reconcile with Lisa? Could you describe that moment?
I did. Sometime back in the late 90s, I was out, at a nightclub and ran into her. And we spoke briefly. I didn't even know it was her at the time that I saw her. I just kind of called out her name. And she looked at me, and we kind of looked at each other, and immediately we hugged and, we boo-hooed and cried a little bit. And she just immediately just started saying that she was sorry. She was so sorry for what happened. And I just said, Lisa, that's how the industry is. And I told her I had forgiven them by that time, So.
Wow. That really took a lot. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Okay, so describe, not even describe, I'm sorry. Where were you when you found out about Lisa's passing?
I was actually at home asleep, and I got a frantic phone call about 3, 4, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. And it was a friend of mine on the other end, and she was just, yelling in the phone if I heard, and I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And she told me Lisa died, and I'm like, well, no, what do you mean? And she told me, and I was just like in shock. I was in shock, so I didn't believe it at first until I started listening to the radio, and then I called in on, I think at the time it was Hot 97.5, and I talked to Ryan Cameron for a moment and just kind of gave my, the family my condolences, and then people started asking me questions, and so I just kind of answered what I could at the time, but it's a sad moment.
Yeah. Were you able to attend Lisa's funeral?
I did. I went to the wake, and I also went to the funeral. And I actually sat in front of Suge Knight. He fell asleep behind me, but yeah.
Interesting. Oh, man. I can imagine the amount of people there. We saw the pictures and the amount of people she touched. Okay. Off that, because, we're going to get teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Crazy Sexy Cool, biopic comes out. It opened up a can of worms. Describe how you felt about your portrayal in the movie, with the little parts that you've seen,
Yeah, because I only saw the first 18 minutes. I really wasn't interested in seeing the rest of it after I saw the way that they portrayed me. Knowing they were the executive producers for that biopic, I was just disappointed, very hurt, angry, and just in shock. I literally cried because I'm like, why would you put me out there like that? I mean, first of all, anybody that knows me knows I can sing. I mean, I'm not no Jennifer Hudson. I'm not no Mariah Carey, but I would try my best. I can sing. I can out-sing Chili. I can sing. But I guess it's just Hollywood. I guess that's just what they wanted to generate ratings and, talk about, what happened. And I guess that was the way that they wanted to portray how I was, left out of the group or whatever, just to show that diversity. Or, but I don't know why they did it, but only they can say why they did it. But again, I kind of, I was pissed.
Yeah.
So, to say the least.
Yeah. Well, with them claiming that the movie was 100% true, and of course you felt hurt about that, Were you, you didn't see the movie. I'll just, let's see. We could just basically say, how do you feel about Tion right now? Even though you didn't see the whole movie, but just the first 18 minutes that you've seen, you were disappointed. How do you feel towards her?
My feeling towards her has never changed. I know how manipulative that Hollywood people can be, so I don't know if she was just coerced. I don't know. But, my views haven't changed for her or Tion or even Pebbles. I always tell people, I'm not going to talk bad about them. I can, but I'm not. I don't have anything bad to say,
Yeah. So, if you had a chance to speak to her personally, what would you say to patch things up?
Well, as far as patching things up, I don't know what was unpatched. I don't know what's wrong, because I did hear her interview on Ryan Cameron. I did know that she called in. She wasn't there personally, so she called in. However, I don't know where the animosity is coming from, and that's what I would like to know, because surely it's not coming from me. I haven't been in her life. I haven't said anything, to her or about her or anything, so I don't know where the anger or where it's coming from, but I would like to know, and if I've done anything, which I'm still not aware of, I would definitely apologize for it, but I haven't done anything. But, I would love to talk to her.
Yeah.
I would love just to have a glass of wine and just sit down and just have a girl moment. It's,
Girl talk.
Why not,
And hopefully we can make that happen. So, Tion, if you're out there listening, Crystal is open to have a talk, sip some tea, just patch it out. Well, you guys didn't flash.
And let me say this just for the record. I worry about my girls, and I call them my girls because that's what they are to me, but I still worry about her. I really do, because I know that she's been going through so much with her health, and I honestly, genuinely am concerned, and I really hope that, that her health, everything works out. I just hope that she recovers from everything that she's been going through, So,
yeah.
Again, with her and Chili, I don't have any hard feelings with either one of them. Never really have,
Oh, well. So with that being said, this is a question I wanted to ask. If Tion and Chili said one day that they want you to join them on stage or for a one-time song, would you do it? Just
hell yeah. Hell yeah. Why not? Why, I would not turn that down for the world. Me on stage, style, please, yeah.
Now y'all hear
Let's
that?
do this.
Who would sing lead?
But I know they're not gonna do it. But I would love to. I love being on stage, honey. I'm a whole different person when I'm on stage. But I would love to. I have like a book sitting right here with songs and lyrics I've written. I'm always like, well, that'll sound good with TLC. That'll sound good with Lisa or Rosanda or Chili. I've always, felt like that, even in the past or whatever. So, yeah, I'll be down for it. But again, I don't think it ever happened.
Well, you never know. You never know. The sky's the limit. Yep. Who would sing lead if that happened?
You're not going to make me put this phone down.
I'm playing. You have to disregard that question. Okay.
We would have to split it up. We just have to split that up.
Take turns? Okay.
Yeah, we just have to split that up and take turns.
Would you use Deborah Killen?
Heck no, they can use me. I'm good.
I feel you. Okay. Speaking of music, you mentioned about having a song with an artist by the name, I forgot his name, Michael. What was
Michael
his name
Cooper.
Again? Michael Cooper. So
Michael
the people
Cooper.
who are interested, because I know, I'm sorry, I'm speaking for the people out there. It's a mystery. Everyone's interested and intrigued in hearing your voice. They just want to witness it, just to kind of get a taste of it. So if you guys out there listening, you want to hear Crystal's voice, just go type in Michael Cooper on Google. And what's the song's name?
The song is called 1-900-NEXT to Me, but if they want to hear me sing, I do have a YouTube video out under the name of Chevy Rose, because that's my alter ego, and it's Chevy, CheviRose. And the name of the song that I did with my nephews, actually, is called Keep Moving. And I actually did this song as a favor to them back in 2010, about 3 years ago. And they just needed some vocals done, and then they just kind of put some pictures together and put it all on YouTube. So it was kind of haphazardly done, but it's there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's something. We're going to post it up on the board, to keep people informed so they can, listen to it on YouTube. Why not?
Right.
Yeah,
all right.
finally, so you could put the rumors to rest that you could
Exactly. And you weren't singing
I'm so tired
climate.
of people saying that.
Exactly. That's just about having fun. There was a question someone on the board wanted to ask, and I know you wanted to keep away from TLC's music. But for the music that you couldn't avoid, if you had to choose, what were your favorite songs or album by TLC?
Well, I never listened to their music. I mean, I would hear bits and pieces on the radio and whatnot, but if I had to choose a song, it would be Waterfalls.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's Lisa's favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have any ties with the Lopez family? Any type of relationship with them?
I don't. I never met Lisa's mom. I only saw her at the wake, and at that time it just wasn't a good time, a good place for us to talk about anything other than just, paying respects to Lisa. So I've never really met anyone in her family. I did meet Raina recently. She actually came down to my job because where I work few floors under the radio station where Chili was at and everybody goes to. So Raindrop was there one day, and I guess one of the Z103 reps brought her down to my floor, and we talked and hugged and cried and all that. So, yeah. And, I see, we chat online with Uncle Kyle. What's up, Uncle Kyle? We chat online, and, and I see her brother, Ronald. What's up, Ron? So, yeah.
That's great. Well, everyone, oh, my God, this has been a pleasure speaking with you. Flash and I are just honored to have this Part 2 interview. And everyone, please make sure to look out for Crystal Selene's upcoming book, The Awakening of a Shattered Dream.